Well, I was just watching the Senate debates about health care, and one of them I was watching there. Well, one of the senators had a chart up there, and it showed, like the chart had on it, California is 14% of the population that gets 23% of the Medicare that to help pay for the insurance. And they had a list of a bunch of these here, and needless to say, all the New York was way up there and stuff, and some of these others didn't hardly have any. Was a lot lower percentage-wise, even for the number of people they had, for how much was spent on it was a lot smaller. And that's going through there, and he was talking about, yeah, well, with our bill, what we're going to do is that we're going to take and we're going to even this out, and some of these states that aren't getting very much help, we're going to give them more money. We're going to give them more money for their health care, and some of these others now they're going to have to cut back. We're going to have to trim them back, gradually trim them back. And I guess what kind of got me was, first of all, why did some states get a lot less, or are spending a lot less on the Medicare part of the health insurance, Obamacare, than other states is. And they never did talk about that. But what the simple fact is that when Obamacare first came out, it was meant for everybody the same, And so they, states like California and these others, they jumped right on it, and they had a bunch of people that didn't have insurance, and they encouraged them to get it, and a lot of them signed up. So right off the bat, they started getting it. And some of these other states really just flat their governors and the state-run governments would not let the people do a lot of the stuff that states like California was doing to use the government money. And them was all Republican states, by the way. They deliberately held back for their people in their state of getting subsidized health care. In other words, if they couldn't afford it, well, then the Medicare would pay for it. And they held that back. And matter of fact, they wasn't meant to be like that, and they wound up taking that to the Supreme Court. And, I can't describe that. I wouldn't attempt to describe all of that, how that worked out. But what it amounted to is that the way that it did work out was that the Supreme Court came up and they gave a lot more control to for the states to be able to control the parts of Obamacare and how it was distributed in their states. So that took away a lot of this stuff that had actually been put into it. Not that it was a perfect plan to begin with, but it was better than it turned out, before they messed with it. And they also took away the mandate to where everybody had to buy it, And the thing of it is that is where the discrepancy came in, is that some of these states just flat didn't let their people get it, and then other states encouraged them to get it and get on it. They wanted all of their people to have Medicare. I mean, not Medicare, but they wanted them to have health insurance. And so that kind of got to me, because they're, the way that they're presenting this, we're going to save money here, and these people here that live in this state, you're going to have to, just kind of bite the bullet, I mean, that isn't what they said. They said it a lot more diplomatic, but that's what it really amounts to. And it's just a simple matter of dividing and conquering. They're wanting to get some of the smaller states that are paying a lot of that are hurting. That's paying big insurance premiums and stuff like that more than the others. But that has nothing to do with Obamacare to begin with. What it amounts to is that they discouraged insurance companies from picking up policies in them states. And not only that, now then that Trump's come in and they started been talking about that, hollering for all these years, and especially Trump come in, and people get, and these insurance companies saying, wow, you know what? We might get by without having to keep a lot of people on these where if anything goes wrong with them, we have to pay for it. We might save a lot of money if we just stop letting people get insurance from us. Well, this withdrawal from the deal, and that's the reason so many people, so many of them now has got out of there. They're thinking, my goodness, we get another million or two people on this, and then they make it to where they don't roll it back for 2 or 3 years. Well, we could be out millions and millions of dollars from these people that get cancer and them pesky heart attacks and getting crippled up in cars, and my goodness, we'd have to pay all that money out, Be better just to not even get involved in it right now. And that's a big thing that's going on with it. That's the reason that it keeps dropping out. And two, I'm just going to say it, but Trump actually passed didn't pass, but with a pen made some executive orders to where they can ignore it. He just same thing he said, it's just you can ignore it. He didn't have the authority to roll it back like they're trying to do now and stuff, but basically just told them that they could ignore a lot of this stuff. And so they really stopped. You know what I mean? They said, whoa, we're not going to insure people anymore, until this stuff gets straightened up. But I guess what really gets me, here's the thing that really gets me about the whole thing. Not that don't, but just stop and think common sense a little bit. Why? This can sound like liberal, I guess, or Bernie Sanders, but this really do. We're the richest nation in the world. Why can't all of us have affordable insurance? And not insurance to where when they say, well, you have access to this preconditions and you have access to all this. That's the big word, access. What that means, if you got the do-re-mi, buddy, we'll fix you up, And if you're, older and more chance that you do all that by statistics, and if there's more chance that you're going to cost us money, we're going to raise some premiums up there to where you ain't going to be able to afford it. So that isn't choice. And why, though, can't we have reasonable, they could work it out, too, if they would work together and work it out. But why can't we just have health care for everybody? People said, oh my God, that's socialism. The socialists are going to be marching on the streets, and taking over everything. Well, no, it's not. It's just common sense. And I'm not even going to go in that because everybody's heard that most of the free world already has a form of that type of health care. And what's a big fallacy? A flat lie that has been perpetrated, and a lot of people buy into it, is saying, well, yeah, but the quality of health care won't be as good as the United States because we have the best health care in the world. That's a bunch of bullcrap. That ain't true. They have a organization that tracks that. This is not a liberal organization or conservative organization. They've been doing it for years, and I wish I should have memorized what the name of the thing was, but you can find it on Google. Just look for the right, the deal about the statistics on healthcare. Now, if you don't watch it, you'll go off to a right-wing website that's going to feed you much bullshit. But this thing is been around forever, and it's a nonpartisan deal. And did you know they listed the top 10 best countries in the world, their health care? And this is the health care, not necessarily the health care system, but the health care itself. And did you know what the United States is rated on that? 10. There's 9 other countries ahead of us. So to me, that just blows the fallacy about all of this stuff that you hear about how terrible these different countries' health care is. And the fact of the matter, you can always get a few people that I don't care, just can hang them with a new rope that bitch about it, But anyway, the being serious is that you can get people to gripe about anything if you look for them, but our health care isn't the best in the world, and our system sure to heck isn't. And I'm afraid that we're going back to the way that it was when they say they want to put it back like it used to be years ago. I did another video on this about how my grandfather, he had lost his farm, and he lost all of his cows, and they broke him, got all of his money out of the bank. I don't mean they got it out of the bank, but through the doctor bills, because Granny got cancer and she had to have all these operations, and they didn't have no health insurance back in them days, no health insurance, and it literally broke him. It took everything that he had. I mean, every single penny that he had, and then not only that, then they hounded him for years after that for stuff that he couldn't pay. And he always tried to pay stuff. You know what I mean? And so it was completely disgusting what they did to him because he didn't have money, and his wife had to have them operations, that. But anyway, and if you don't you really have to stop and think. Just really be honest with yourself and put everything else aside. What kind of a United States do you want your kids to inherit when it comes to health care? Let's just keep it real specific. When it comes to health care, do you want it to be where if they kind of mess up or something and don't have the money in there, and whether it's not through their fault of their own, or even if they goof up and something happens, do you want them to be denied health care because they can't afford it? I mean, do you want your kids to be that, or if you're older, your grandkids, or maybe your great grandkids? I know I sure to hell don't. I want them to live in a country where they can have health care if they need it. I don't give a damn what they did up to that point in their life. They need health care if they need it. And I don't know. I just don't understand, people's thinking. But anyway, that's what I wanted to share.